Hey everybody, I hope this is going live. Let me double check. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm on my computer and I have some different settings. So, okay, now we're live. Okay, I'm trying some different settings. I'm doing it on my computer where you can actually add. So, if you guys look, there should be a poll and there should be a link and some other stuff. Anyway, so we'll kind of like hang out here for a minute while we wait for people to join and talk about my emotional damage from this morning. Okay, so I'll just get into it. A little bit of housekeeping. So there's a bunch of people that have started following me as I'm getting involved with political stuff. That's going to shift more over to my commissioner's page as I begin actively campaigning for commissioner. Those of you who are new, welcome. You came for the political drama. I hope you stay for the healthy life tips. Hi, I'm Brandy. I'm a certified life and health coach. I also hold a master's degree in psychology from Columbia University, and I coach people to new habits. So if you're a person who is wanting to try something new, you're wanting to achieve something new, maybe you want to run for office too, but there's something holding you back, that's what I work with people on. Basically overcoming those self-limiting factors, figuring out what you need to set up in your life to make sure that you're successful and you reach your goals. And so if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. I'll get started on kind of the topic of today. Have you guys ever gotten on the scale after you've been eating right, you're tracking your macros, you're working out consistently, and the number on the scale is like, what the hell just happened? Emotional damage. So that happened to me this morning, and I've been working out. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to gain some muscle back. A little bit of a backstory just to bring you guys up to speed if you didn't know. Back in October, I had a major surgery. I had to have a hysterectomy, and that surgery knocked me on my butt. Now, not just the surgery itself, but about a year or two leading up to the surgery, I was in so much chronic pain that I really was not very active. I was extremely sedentary and my body kind of dilapidated. I lost all of the muscle mass that I had built from my last body recomposition. And I'm basically kind of starting from square one. I had made a video early in the morning where I got super excited here a while back that I had worked out with my 40-pound dumbbell. That was a mistake. I didn't feel good after that. I think I pulled something and I pushed myself. Basically, my big muscle groups are still really strong, but all of those little supporting muscles, like that keep our pelvis stable, and those little tiny supportive muscles around our joints and stuff, those are still very vulnerable. And so I've gone back to just body weight calisthenic exercises. So I'm doing like Romanian deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats, hip thrusts, and stuff like that with very little to no weight because I need to spend a few weeks actually building those smaller muscle groups up. So, what happened this morning? I talked to my clients about this, so I'll share a little bit with you guys about what I talk to my clients about when this comes up, because this inevitably happens and it always feels like crap. You've been eating right, you've been exercising, you're doing everything right, and you get on the scale and the numbers have moved in the wrong direction. And so I'm going to use myself as an example. You may be a person who wants to lose fat. You may be a person who wants to gain muscle. There's all kinds of different variations of health goals, right? So I'll use myself as an example here because I had a rough go of it this morning when I was like, what the hell? Okay, so I am trying to gain weight. I'm trying to gain muscle back. And so I've been doing my workouts. I've been really trying to eat more. I'm not a big eater. And so having an appetite, when I get stressed, I lose my appetite. And so I've been trying to really make sure that I'm getting the calories in. I get on the scale. I have lost 2 pounds. And I'm like, what? So I'm looking at my body water has not gone down particularly. I'm not like dehydrated. My body fat has only decreased slightly, like pretty staying the same. But I've lost about a pound of muscle according to my scale. Now I've lost 2 pounds. That other, like, let's see, 10 ounces unaccounted for. I've lost a few ounces of fat. I've lost about a whole pound of muscle. The other ounces are totally unaccounted for. I can't find them in water. I always weigh myself first thing in the morning after I've done my business in the bathroom and before I eat, before I have my coffee. That way I can get the most accurate reading as possible. And so I'm racking my brain and I'm like, what happened? Like, I've been doing everything right. What is going on? The only thing I can think of is that I stopped taking creatine here a couple of weeks ago because it makes me very, very puffy. And so it makes you hold water. And creatine will make your muscles expand because they're holding more water. So, but I'm like, okay, but my body water didn't drop off that much between the last time I measured, which is maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't measure that often. And I really encourage that people not measure more than once a week. And so I'm racking my brain, I'm looking through all the data, and I'm like, what happened? Like, what am I doing wrong? The honest truth is, I don't know. I don't know why the scale says what it says. I have to take that data with a grain of salt. So I did my measurements. My booty has stayed the same. So I'm measuring my thigh, my booty, and my waist. So my waist is a good measure of body fat, both visceral and subcutaneous. I'm measuring my thigh because I want to add muscle mass, measuring the boot because I want to add muscle mass. And so the only thing that changed is I lost about a half inch off my waist. So I'm like, okay, was it visceral fat? Nope. Visceral fat has stayed the same. I don't have any more fat around my organs. I don't have, my subcutaneous fat didn't shrink that much. Honestly, guys, I have no idea. I don't know. And this is going to happen. This is the reality of kind of a health journey. Our bodies are funky. They do stuff that, the point being, when you're going through this and you get on the scale and you see a number that you don't like, you cannot let that discourage you. And here's how you avoid letting it discourage you. Yesterday was Monday. I did legs. I did my full leg workout. I was strong. I had good form. I powered through it all. The day before that, I did my full ab workout. So I haven't been able to do my full ab workout because my surgery incisions have been very tender and I don't want to give myself a hernia. And so when I would start to feel that burning, I would stop. So day before yesterday, I was able to do that whole video. And it's hard. It's one of the best ab videos that I've ever come across. I used it here a couple years ago when I did my body recomposition, and I was ripped. Like, I had abs, I had lat abs. It was crazy. So I'm doing that same video, and so I know I'm getting stronger. I'm doing my arm workouts, right? And I'm adding weight to my arms because I like to do shoulders. I like to build up. Sorry, this is hard because I'm backwards here. But like this area right here, I really like to add volume there for aesthetics and strength. So I'm handling more weight. So I know I'm getting stronger. I look in the mirror and I feel like I look tighter. So like my clothes are fitting good. And so I really want to encourage people that when you're going through this fitness journey, do not allow the numbers on the scale to upset you. You know, it's just information. It's just data. That data is not the end all be all. And I think a lot of us, when, You know, when you have been dieting and you've been hungry all the time, which you don't have to be, if that's something you're dealing with, you should reach out to me because you can lose weight without being hungry all the time. But if this is something you're dealing with, like let's just say you're a person who's been starving yourself. You know, you've been hungry all week and maybe you're on the blood sugar roller coaster and don't realize it. Let's say you've been trying to lose weight, but you've been running. So you're actually stressing your body and increasing your sympathetic nervous system, your stress hormones. So you're getting your heart rate up too high and you're just hungry all the time. You're probably stressed out and then you get on the scale and let's say you've gained weight. That's demoralizing. It can be very demotivating. One of the good things about working with a coach is you have someone that you're checking in with weekly who can say, "Hey, but do you feel good? Do you have energy? Do you feel inspired by how your body is changing? Are you lifting more weight?" So you have an accountability partner who can check in with you to make sure you're following through, but also make sure that you're appreciating your wins, right? Because if I just went by what I saw on the scale and was like, this isn't working. I'm doing all of this for nothing. I'm not growing anything. I would be super demotivated. And so I wanted to hop on here and talk about this. You guys, I can't see the surveys. If you guys if you can see it, there's a poll that basically says, have you ever, I should have worded it more funny, but it's like, have you ever been discouraged by a scale? Yes or no. I should have made it funny. Like, have you ever been emotionally damaged by a weight measuring device or something? But I'm curious to see how many people, because I have worked with quite a few clients who have had this experience where they go to get on the scale and they're like, I gained 2 pounds. And it's like, you've been lifting weights. You've probably built muscle. Are you stronger? Can you lift more? And the answer is yes. Yes. Do you look tighter? Yes. Then that number on the scale is muscle and not necessarily fat. Now, in my case, I have no excuses. The honest answer is I just don't know. I don't know what's going on, and I think I need to give my body a little bit more time to adjust to these changes in my activity levels and kind of straighten itself out and get those, because our hormones change, the functions of our body change to meet our behavior. So as we behave differently, our body and our brain change. So there's a part of your brain that actually grows when you do things that you don't want to do because they're hard. So let's say I really don't want to do abs later. If I make myself do it anyway, the part of my brain that, I'm trying to think of how to word this, that encourages me to meet challenges grows. So the more I step up and meet a challenge of something I don't really want to do because it's hard, right? Just like, oh, I don't want to do leg day. These split squats are going to be horrible, because they are going to be horrible. If I make myself do it, the part of my brain that gets excited about challenge grows. So our bodies grow to meet what we're doing with our body. And so it's important to just be patient with that. I'm curious to see what you guys have experienced. If you guys have gone through this with a scale, I would say probably, so not everyone I work with is a weight loss client. Not everyone is a body composition client. I work with people who want to develop connections. I work with people who want to develop boundaries, people who want to develop themselves professionally, maybe get a raise, maybe start a business. My past is working as an executive consultant or an executive coach. And so I look at you as the CEO of your life, what you want to achieve and what you need to change in your life to make those achievements happen. And so the weight loss clients that I have worked with, I think it has probably come up with just about every single person that there's gonna come a time when you're gonna get on the scale and you're gonna be disappointed and maybe even discouraged. And so I think if we know that, and we're prepared for that, when it happens, we're like, oh, that lady Brandy told me about this. This is going to happen. She warned me about this. And if you're expecting it, it's way less likely to trip you up. And so that's it. That's all. I wanted to put that out there. If you're a person who has like, I'm doing everything right and I'm not getting results, or, well, usually that's not the case. Usually it's nothing has worked for me and I struggle with follow through. I struggle to find things that work for me. There's usually some kind of roadblock, right? And when you're in the middle of your own roadblock, you can't see it. So when you work with a coach, it's literally 90 days. You meet once a week, it's 90 days. And within 90 days, you are living a completely different experience. It's usually by about session 4 or 5 that people really start to go, wow, okay. And they start to become agent, because in the beginning, it tends to be a lot of, what's the right word? People are demotivated. You know, there's a word for it where you're just not demotivated, but like, oh crap, there's a perfect word for it and I can't think of it when I'm on the spot. But there's this like exasperation of like, I just need help. You know, it's just this exasperated, and then by like third or fourth session, you're starting to see where people are starting to recognize their own wins. Then it takes off and it gets really cool. And so if you are a person who is like, you're struggling with these demotivating things that you come across, consider working with a coach. I think a lot of people consider coaching to be out of reach for them. The cost per session is, I think, is about $125. It's on par with what you would pay for acupuncture, massage therapy, some counseling, things like that. It's about the same price range, and I carry about the same skill set. And so commensurate. It is really within reach. I do a payment plan also. If you guys check out my website, that is link in bio, or link in the description, I guess. Check that out. I do free breakthrough sessions. They're about an hour. We sit down and we go over what exactly is holding you back, get to the bottom of it, and then we look at whether or not coaching is the right solution for you. And if it is, there's an opportunity to move forward. But if you are a person who has gotten on the scale and been like, what the hell? You're not alone. You're in great company. Me too. So don't be discouraged. There's a lot of different things that you can measure to track progress. The scale is just one data point. So don't hinge all of your feelings of success or failure on just that one data point. And that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you. Have an absolute wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.